Tell J.K. Rowling.
God damn it! Fuck you, Thomas.
And we're
I
live.
hope that wasn't. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I hope that wasn't the first thing people heard. Hey, I'm Arthur Perkins, AP Gaming Real. Bob and I did not discuss whether I would still be doing hosting duty at the beginning of this episode. So since he didn't say anything, I've taken full control of the show now. These are the first things people on YouTube and Twitch will hear is my inane blather going around in a circle. We are gathered here today, discerning and wise audience, to watch a show about Battletech. This is Battletech Gentlemen on the List. We've gathered a bunch of Pendragon players to play Pendragon in space in the setting that was Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones, without the... Well, no, it still had a really upsetting animated show. And if you haven't seen the Battletech animated show, you are better off. Now, of course, we all primarily knew Battletech through its most famous property, the collectible card game. Next famous board game, hundreds of serialized novels. Maybe you've played the video games. Probably not. And then least famous, of course, are the RPG and the tabletop board game. But we're here to combine an RPG, which is not Battletech, because the Battletech RPGs are bad, with the tabletop war game, which is good. Now, you might be thinking, who are these people on the screen? Well, you have episode 0 for that. Because, again, Bob still hasn't said anything. He has ceded control of the show to me. So we will do outroductions. We're going to jump into the show very shortly. You're not going to know who any of these people are unless you're a regular. And then you'll learn more about them at the end of the show. That said, rather than introduce all of your characters real quick, I will just go around and have you introduce your names so that when we cross-talk and refer to each other, the audience isn't totally confused. So, Liam, who are you?
Joke's on me for telling a bunch of my friends, hey, come down, it's session 1. You won't need any backstory to figure out who anybody is. Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I am playing a character, and I'm looking forward to it. So nice to have AP here and to have the rest of us taking our week off of Pendragon. So that's it. That's all I got.
Mark, you're next on the Discord list.
Hello, I am Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and I am here to also play a character that you may or may not learn about by watching this video.
You'll
so
definitely
I guess.
learn.
All right then. Well, I guess we'll see you in 3 hours.
Thomas!
Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm not here to play a character. I'm here to play a man made entirely out of glass. We'll see how long he lasts.
Bob.
I feel like I have to follow this up with, hi, I'm Rod, and I like to party, because that's about how good all these introductions went. I'm Bob. I host this show in that I turn on OBS, and then AP does all the work. We didn't discuss that, but it happened now. So
we didn't discuss it, and it did happen this way.
Yeah,
I kind of bulldozed my way into it as well.
Comfortable with that, man.
Very well. Hey, this is your once a month break off of King Arthur Pendragon. Another show you'll find the rest of these people on, and occasionally you'll find me bleeding out of my mouth during the middle of the show. For no apparent
Which
reason.
is always a treat.
That's part.
Or showing up weirdly in a cloak for like the last 15 minutes of a show.
Honestly, we can't get the blood packs out of him. It's just constant.
They're right here. They're still in front of me all the time. I just left them on my desk. Why would I get rid of them? You never know. When I still have a towel nearby as well, because when you bleed out of your mouth, you have to bleed down into your lap, and you don't want to get all over your pants. Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey.
Florence, let me ask you a question. How do you feel about my wife?
Battletech. It is the future of the 80s, my friends. It is a time of giant metal robots that walk around like humans. It doesn't make any sense. Their weapons fire less than a mile. Their technology is considerably worse than modern military technology. Just believe in it. This will not be an accurate military unit simulator either. I need you to be aware that this is going to be more like Ace Combat than it is Digital Combat Simulator. It will probably be anime, given all of the anime PFPs we've got as our characters. And with that, let's start with episode 1 of Battletech Gentlemen of the List. Our black TV screen is in a nice 1980s approved 4:3 aspect ratio, which pains me as a man of modern day, but there we are. The black fades into a beautiful but unfamiliar starscape as we are looking up from a planet out into the night. And in that night, it is broken by a giant flaming brick falling from the sky. Around this brick, there are 6 smaller moving stars, and the camera, doing the typical found footage shake to go with the fact that things are falling very fast, zooms in, and we see a Leopard dropship. If you don't know what a Leopard dropship looks like, I want you to imagine a brick that's falling from the sky, covered in fire, and that would be totally accurate. So the 6 aerospace fighters are in a 3-on-3 wings formation on either side of this thing. And inside, the shaking is horrendous as we see 4 men sitting in the cockpit of giant machines. They are all shaking with the ship, but they are not strapped into comfortable dropship landing seats. They aren't wearing pressure pads or aerospace suits. They are wearing shorts and some sort of weird vest, leaving them... Oh, and a giant helmet that weighs about 50 pounds lying on their head and shoulders. So they are being wrenched around in the cockpit of their mechs in near darkness. Their mechs 2 and 2 looking at each other from across the way. As they are painfully dropped at incredible speed down onto the planet. We cut back outside, and there are 2 what we would consider modern fighter jets. Not aerospace fighters. These are conventional turbine-driven fighters that are rising up from the planet. And we hear that choppy military radio where it removes like 90% of the emotion and is half garbled, yet somehow completely understandable, as a woman's voice says, this is He-Yan, coming down, authorization code Alpha, Oscar, Kilo, 07. And at that, the 3-on-3 aerospace fighters begin breaking off and heading back out of the atmosphere. And we hear the pilot of one of the approaching jet fighters say, "Oh, come on, ladies, leaving so soon?" And you hear just a bunch of farting noises that people are making with their mouths. Somebody just says, "Man, if he can't make it up into space, he can't touch this." In the background, in the background, we can see the false dawn as the sun's rising partly around the planet is letting enough light come around that the darkness is being penetrated. And we cut to the cockpit of the He-Yan, the flying brick, as the 2 pilots look at each other, the co-pilot gives a thumbs up, and they begin to go from flying brick mode to pointed straight down towards the planet, accelerated straight down. And so all of you, half of you are now falling on your back, and the other half are falling forward towards each other. As the jet fighters cannot keep up with the speed, and one of them says, "What's going on here?" And one of the female pilots smiles and says, "We're just chasing the sun. What's sunrise around here? 1,000 miles an hour?" And we get this flying brick coming down lower and lower as we can see the line of sunrise, a line of light chasing behind it for miles as you are headed towards a aerospace landing strip down on the planet next to a massive convention center hotel. And right as the sunrise line hits the end of the He-Yan, the 4 of you are jerked to a stop as it suddenly stops and hovers several meters above the landing strip and then uncharacteristically, and not to plan, instead of deploying you by walking off the end of it, they drop you out of the bottom of it, so that all of you need to scramble to hit the ground. So I'd like all of you to roll 2d6 real quick, and we'll see how you land. And hey, double ones is bad, by the way. There's only 2 people in the tabletop simulator right now for the folks at home. If you're wondering why there's some scurried and worried looks right here.
This whole time I was like, oh, well, that's right. We didn't have a roll 20. I guess we just weren't going to roll? No, that doesn't make sense.
That would be very difficult in this
We
game.
did it a month
Completely
ago.
forgot. I know.
So
We'll resolve all combat through rock, paper, scissors.
hey, if it's good enough for vampire,
Yeah.
You said 3d6.
2d6.
2d6. Francois rolled a 7.
Okay. Francois hits the ground correctly.
Rahul
Yay.
rolls a 6.
No, not
Rahul
Francois. Louis. There we go.
takes a knee on the way down. A little bit of damage there. You can hear the crumpling of an armor plate.
Ooh, that's not good.
Definitely paint job. Needs some touch up.
7 for me.
Okay. Hit the ground correctly.
Okay, remind me, what dice am I rolling again?
2d6.
2d6. Okay, cool. Yeah, here they come. That's a 5.
You also hit with a knee. And the paint job, you go down on both hands as well, and the hand actuators have scuff marks all over it. Your new parade finish is ruined. As laughing at you openly over the comm line, the leopard Heon begins blasting away again. And you could see in the distance, probably it'll be several minutes before they catch up, the Bluebird jet fighters are going to land on this landing strip at some point soon if you don't get out of the way.
Like, I guess we better start moving then. What a bunch of dicks.
I think he shakes his fist up in the air like this and straightens up his coat and then realizes a little too late that the jets are coming and he starts to scurry almost in a waddle.
All right, so we've got this map here that I'm showing to you. You are located somewhere around here on the map. And you've arrived at a convention center. It is a massive, like 30-story high hotel convention center adjacent to the aerospace port. It looks like Magistracy of Canopus banners have been rolled out. All of the rugs have been changed to green and purple and gold. The staff, what few original staff remain, are supplemented by either contractors or volunteer militiamen. You all have your orders as recent members of the Militia Defense Corps. You are to report here to this hotel, which is called Wolf Base at this particular aerospace drop port, which is located in the city of Juan, to speak to your new commanding officer and get your orders. As you park your 4 mechs and head down your rope ladders, maybe this is the first time you've all met to face. Maybe some of you know each other. Now would be the time, in character, to describe yourselves to us, the audience. Although I've seen some of your anime pictures, and they're infinite loop Mobius sashes. I am a member of the audience. Describe yourselves to us, and maybe if you know each other a little bit.
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I was gonna say, if no one goes first, I'm gonna say a name, and that person's not gonna like that I'm making them go first. Liam,
I don't know.
you talk first. It's
I did
you.
talk first. I guess it's me. I guess it has to be me. Hi, everybody. Okay, so Alexander is he's approaching late 20s. He's got a little bit of, heavy tattoos across his arms and crawling up from underneath his jumpsuit into the side of his neck. Some heavy piercings on his ears, and he's got kind of like a well-groomed but kind of not wild but like thick beard. And his hair kind of falls a little bit in front of his face with a sharp undercut. He's well groomed. Like his hair is very deliberate. His tattoos are very deliberate, and even the whatever the military uniform jumpsuit stuff that we're wearing right now, it's also like clearly it's meant to be armored, but it's meant to look aesthetically pleasing as well. Probably already fallen apart, right? Like, just from the landing. But
just to be clear, all that damage was to your mechs,
to the
not
mech,
to
right?
you,
Okay,
the
so
person.
inside
Your
we're just
uniform
fine.
looks as immaculate as you want it to be.
Oh, perfect. Well, in that case, it looks great. I think as he hits the ground, he kind of like curses, and then immediately he knows to start moving. But there's a little bit of like, as he gets enough distance, he kind of looks up at the ship and just like, assholes. I don't know if he knows anybody though. I don't think he would. Personally.
All right, well, the first person in class got out of the way.
Right. I can go
I can go
second.
next.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
You
Mark.
good.
See, now they're fighting for second place.
Hey, second place is the best. You don't want to go first or last.
First the worst, second the best.
All right. Rahul is a rather handsome-looking gentleman. Short, dark, windswept hair, clean-shaven. Pretty much no tattoos or piercings to really speak of. He wears an immaculate uniform. However, there is one oddity about him, which is what looks to be a cybernetic metallic wolf tail that seems to be like the metal itself is layered in a way to make it look as if it's fur, but it's large chunks of metal that goes all the way around. And it seems to move independently. It's probably the only oddity about him, as he's there with his immaculate uniform, kind of
Whoa,
brushing off the side.
You're Canopian. This is not an oddity about you. It is for us, but not for your character.
Oh yeah. But that is the thing about him that sticks out.
The tail sticks out from your body is the thing that sticks out from you. Okay, got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can go next. All right. Pascal is a large man. He stands about 6'2". He's got a very big face and even bigger sort of grin that seems to go almost from ear to ear. He's a proud man. You can tell just by looking at him. Probably too proud for his own good. He looks a bit older than he ought to be at tender age of 21 maybe, or whatever we're at. He has a look like maybe he has a stick up his ass at the best of times. He's seen shaking his fist at the thing, only giving himself ample amount of time to get out of the way as like a secondary need. The most important thing is that he lets them know how he feels. And with that, we'll go from there.
As far as Louis goes, not Francois, different French-sounding character name. Louis, as he hears the laughter crackling over from the Heon, he echoes it as well, laughing as much at himself as he is the predicament, feeling multiple hairline fractures in his ribs, but that's nothing new. He is immediately on the way to park, climbing down the rope bridge. He looks over at the Raven, his mech warrior, his mech, to make sure there's no damage, and satisfied, he nods. You said he was wearing like shorts and a vest, as well as the like helmet for protection.
Yes. So you mech warriors get shorts, and then it's called a cooling vest. It's basically filled with coolant that flows through it because the mech cockpit gets so hot.
He doesn't cut an amazingly imposing figure. He's tall, about 5'9", but very thin and very lanky. He too, much like Pascal, has an easy smile that doesn't quite leave his face, but there are very, very dark circles around his green eyes, which indicate lack of sleep. He's got pale skin, a very unhealthy complexion, but that doesn't seem to stop him as he walks from his mech across the tarmac with a cane in his left hand, supporting himself. I've got a constitution of 4. I'm going to play it up.
I'm surrounded by freaks who are happy sometimes. What's up with that?
Oh,
Good
I will
humor.
say specifically, he's got a laser pistol strapped to his vest.
You see around you that service members of the Magistracy Armed Forces, the Magistracy Army, which you have just been transferred to from the Militia Defense Corps, are passing around flyers and bulletins. You could see that something is being remarked upon by a lot of men and women outside of this hotel convention center that has been turned into a military command zone. There are notices of upcoming movies that include. Now, see, here's the great thing: is that 3 of you have never been to the Inner Sphere, and 1 of you was a Comstar adept, so you know what this is. You see a movie poster that says Immortal Warrior, and people are getting hype as fuck about this poster for some reason. It literally just has the words Immortal Warrior in white on black text, and people are like, this is gonna be the best fucking viewing I've ever had. This is gonna be my 4th one, man. And a woman's like, okay, calm down. We all love Immortal Warrior. Obviously, it's the best. I wish we got it in the periphery, but yeah. Look, there's a lot to be said about being deployed to Beetlejuice, as she rolls her eyes. And but this ain't bad.
Immortal Warrior, fantastic. It's fucking transcendent, I must say.
I like how you're picking that up because you don't. I assume you don't know what Immortal Warrior is.
Not at all.
Okay.
But Louis probably does.
Yes, your character definitely knows about Immortal Warrior. It's like the Marvel of Battletech.
It taught me what a batchel was.
Bob is hyped about it.
No, it didn't. No. That's not how the Batchels are in 30 years. Don't worry about that thing.
Never mind. Sorry about that.
You're too far ahead in the lore. I appreciate your diligence, though.
Thank you. But yes, I think Louis gives the fellow Immortal Warrior fans a nod as he continues to limp forward.
Okay.
I think, and this is, are we all present outside of our mechs?
All
here?
4 of your mechs were parked pretty close to each other, but it sounds like Louis is just zooming away from you.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were heading to the hotel. Never
Oh, if you want to Aaron Sorkin walk and talk together, that's fine. But I love the idea that you're in the front with the cane because you know the rest of them will catch up to you.
That is a speedy ass motherfucker. Yeah,
Look, I'm speedy because I'm ready to go all the time. I'm very, very slow otherwise.
I think we'll have Alexander kind of jog up to walk alongside you as he gets his stuff off, and you can tell that he kind of he's fixing his jacket a little bit, and goes, you're familiar with these kinds of things?
With the viewing, yes. You see a lot of them, especially when you're around the inner core. You get a lot of them pumped into, well, break rooms and personal rec rooms too. It just depends on where you're stationed.
I haven't always been the most comfortable socially, so I typically stick to myself.
As you say that, it should be noted, you guys are just walking and talking, having a casual conversation, And almost everyone you walk past immediately turns, goes to attention, and salutes all four of you. And waiting until you pass or you salute them. So you're like, I'm not really comfortable around people. And there's literally like dozens of people that have to stop what they're doing as you walk past.
How long ago were we promoted to ensign? Relatively recently, right?
Recently, yes.
Yeah, fun. Yeah, I think Alexander especially is like, he kind of grimaces at it, and it's if they're lower ranked to us, we don't have to salute back, right?
If you salute back, it frees them up to go do what they need to, or they wait until you go past.
I'm just gonna keep walking then.
Okay.
Louis will salute them as they walk past, kind of a casual. And continuing, he'll say, well, there's a lot to be said about making social connections. You're part of the nobility, yes?
About the same time I was promoted to ensign, yeah, recently. My family isn't traditionally nobility. It's something that I've taken.
I'm much the same way, or I hope to be, elevated to that status, rather. But I will say this, in two things. The first, if you wish to associate socially with anyone, with me, I'm sure that'll be a good time. The second thing, Immortal Warrior, as I've said before, transcendent experience.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. You're not nobility then, you're commoner. There's a specific word for it that's not commoner, right?
Yes. It's called Girin if you are a commoner you are Girin, right? You're a commoner who's been elevated up to
correct
status.
Correct.
Yes.
I think Thomas is not that, though. I think
Regular
he's still
commoner.
No, he's a regular ass commoner. He's
Yeah.
100% a commoner.
It's the word is just commoner, though, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You're a commoner.
That's correct. That a problem?
No. Like I said, this mobility thing is new to me as well. Actually, it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable talking to you.
Glad to hear it. And likewise, where you are now, I hope to be.
Are you,
Sorry.
are you alright?
I'm fine, mostly. Was a rough landing.
So it would seem. You don't need to go to the sick bay or anything like that, do you?
I'll be fine. And we should report to our commanding officer first.
But before we
say
do,
so.
perhaps we should have a conversation and just get this out of the way. And he points to, I think, Lewis, who probably looks the least fit for the part, and says, "Your number, gentlemen, on the list."
Starting
So-
early.
You can see that people are running around, and one of the billets that they're running around with is the list. And the newly printed one with your names on it are being rushed around.
Okay, so this is new info.
Yes.
All right.
I think with that,
Fresh.
Rahul grabs one that's coming by
Okay.
and then looks over at.
Who are you
Man.
people?
A slight smile appears on his face.
I'm putting in Discord the top and bottom of the list, and then the people that are above and below each of you.
Thank you kindly. Oh god, that's right, I'm 24. Ugh. Ugh.
Louis tilts his head as he spies a passing bulletin and goes, I heard mention of this, but I'm not quite sure precisely what it's for or about. But 27, that seems fine.
Yes, it's very fine for farming. If you have no ambitions, move up the ladder any further than you are. It is quite fine.
I don't think,
I see.
I don't think we've been properly acquainted with each other. I'm Alexander.
Pascal.
Oh, yes, I completely forgot. Louis Gabrielson. A pleasure.
Rahul. Jesting. 8th. He says with a cocky grin.
Pesco's gonna grab the paper out of Raoul's. He hasn't checked the list yet. Grab it from him and look. And he's gonna scoff, realizing he's only 17. I must have gotten something wrong here. I should be 15 at least. 8th, you said? Perhaps I got that
Indeed.
wrong.
So Rahul,
Scowls.
something slightly different is happening to you than what's happening to everybody else. You're a powerful, well-known, noble family. Even if you are a distant, and an officer, and you got that tail, you are noticing several women and even some very jealous-looking men, both higher and lower ranked, and some of them not even in military uniform. Some of them aren't even magistracy personnel, just people who admire a handsome, powerful man or walking past you, locals from the planet Capellans. Just this is the guy. This is number 8 right here. Like you can hear people saying that as they go past you. They're like, "Oh shit, that's him." Okay.
And with that, he goes, "It's only proper, considering my family and our great history. I think I also cut a nice figure."
Alright.
Louis kind of like sizes him up. Not in like a hostile way, kind of like, is that true? Kinda, yeah.
You do have striking features. If you would be at all opposed to it, I'd like to sketch you sometime.
Would be lovely. But it is only proper, as one of the Frones, which I think I'm saying correctly.
Sure, we'll go with that.
There's
Frones. Something
It didn't come
French
with a
about it.
pronunciation guide. Yeah.
there's like, I think there's definitely like with Raoul's like just jumping right on it, like not even a hint of modesty. I think there's a little bit of like Alexander goes, huh, and like's clearly not into it as much anymore.
It is kind of being like, I'm like 100th removed from nobility.
That being said, if you're as well connected as your name suggests, do you know who our CEO is going to be?
Of course I do. With that, he continues forward.
You have no idea, by the way.
I have no fucking idea.
I think like what you say exactly goes through Louis' head. Like, yeah, he doesn't know.
Yep. Pesco's gonna fall in just to the side of Raoul then, like just behind him slightly. He's now locked in. He's number 8, so he's the person to follow right now.
Ah, there we go. Yes. You've determined your way up the list is to follow someone higher than you. Perfect.
Exactly.
It's like geese.
Where's Louis going?
Louis is going to continue. He knows where he needs to go, reporting to the hotel, basically, to the CEO. And he's walking as fast as he can, but he's not, like, falling in line with anyone. He's just making his way.
Right, I'm going with you then.
Oh, yeah.
I can't trust any of these fucking rich people.
So
I used to be a rich person.
that's my question, Raoul. Where are you going if you're not going to the hotel?
Oh, Rahul would be going to the hotel.
Oh, okay. You arrive in 2 slightly separate groups at the front door, where a person in a volunteer's uniform salutes all of you and checks your identification, and then gets all of you to sign his new billeted list. Like, put your signatures next to where you are on the list. Just like, could I get all of you to sign here, please? Thank you so much, sirs. This, just to be clear, this is not to get into the hotel. I just would like your signature. Autograph, really.
Certainly proper.
I'm honored and confused, but...
I try to get I try to get everybody like a Rookie of the Year thing.
I see. Well, glad we're joining an august collection. Can you sell these, or is it just a personal thing?
Oh, I don't know who I'd sell it. They reprint them all the time as people move up and down the list. I just, I try to get people when they first. The major is waiting for you in conference room 2. Actually, you're 5 minutes late.
Conference room 2.
Better head ahead then.
I think Alexander lingers just for a second. He starts to walk and he like, oh right, and he goes back and he makes a signature, and it's like the prettiest, like calligraphy, like just really quick, just whoop whoop whoop, and it's a really nice looking signature.
Wow, they sent us some of your older works, but I have to say your most recent stuff is pretty inspired, sir.
Thank you. There haven't been too many people who have recognized my work, so I appreciate it. Bye. And he's like, okay, I'm late, guy. I gotta go.
And Pascal would sign quickly and continue on. He probably would have butt in to like do so right behind Raoul, like cut in for and say, "Hey, sign it."
I have placed Major Teresa Lupina on the table. If you hold Alt over an object, you can then scroll in and out if you want to get a closer look.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So one thing that's different than this picture is that the front of her jumpsuit's like 80% open, and I believe that the wise and worldly call it décolletage. Yeah, the youth would call it booba is on exposure. She is fanning and waving hot air off of herself as you enter in, and then stands up in front of her desk and says, "Oh, well, you're late. Why don't you all get over here and come to attention?" She just says casually.
Direct eye contact, or kind of like looking at like the nose where the nose meets the eyes, so you're not quite doing that. Nowhere lower.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Or
I think,
will stand to attention.
I think Pascal does, but he has a real awkward, like almost like Borat smile as he looks at her, just enough to like make her slightly uneasy. I'm playing off the charisma 8, all right, guys. So yeah. There's just that awkward stare a little too long, smile a little too long.
In a weird way, I think Alexander also looks at her a little too long, but like the vibe is just way better. It's just a way better vibe.
Louis goes to attention as directed.
So, this is what the Militia Defense Corps is sending to the front line. Okay. I can work with this. Welcome to Allied Volunteer Forces Betelgeuse. This is, of course, Wan City. We're here guarding the Enbeck Tunnel. Wolf Base is our primary operation point on this planet. Pay attention to everything I'm about to tell you, because I see some of your eyes wandering. You will form a lance together. You will be deployed to the southern town of Sarachion at Forward Operating Base Starcrash. Our Merrick allies, the 3rd Defenders of Andurian, control the northern commercial base at Mianchang. The primary opposition force on planet, Warrior House Kamada, are operating outside the planetary capital of Didan, defending the mountain weapons plant of Firmir Weaponry. Now, I'm going to be honest. This is one of the 2 big ticket items that the Magistracy is here to get. Firmir Weapons produces small, medium, and large lasers. Control of it is pivotal to control of the planet, the industry. It's mostly why we're here, to support our allies. As long as Warrior House Kamada is sitting on top of that, they can swap their disabled weaponry or empty ammo bins for new lasers. And frankly, denying us access will upset our superior. So right now, most of the main military force of Warrior House Kamada, the 3rd Defenders of Andurian, and ourselves are fighting skirmishes between Mianchang and Bidan at Aldous Industries. Now, Aldous Industries is protected by Comstar, by charter. Nobody fights in the compound, but Aldous ships its vehicles in freight transit to Bidon. Intercepting those shipments and taking everything that's on it is on our list. So, convoy duty, convoy raiding, these are the kind of missions that you would see if you were posted in the north, which you are not. Just know you may be called up there at any time. The kind of vehicles we're looking at up there, Regulator, Behemoth, Shrek, some new vehicle they're working on called the Zhukov. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been told that it is extremely desired by command. You will be engaging instead in battles over the crossing at the second Celestial Contemplation River that cuts the continent in half. Sarcheon is, well, it is a forward operating base. It exists, is something I can say. You'll all be heading down there in order to relieve the current force, send them back for refreshment. They've been there since the invasion started about a month and a half ago. They need somebody to pull them off the front lines. It's currently being run by a civilian administrator by the name of Dion Mulan. Need you to send him back to me intact. Need to be some discussions about his conduct in the south. Things are not getting done down there. That said, across the river is Pizak Mon, and he has managed to flip the magistrate of that particular town from hostile to neutral status. She has not interfered in our operations and allows us to cross the bridge of the Second Celestial Contemplation River without problems. I expect you all to treat her with respect, and while we are looking to gather as much material on planet as possible, leave Pizak Mon alone. Which one of you is the Froness?
I am, ma'am.
Excellent. The rest of you, do you have any questions?
What kind of resistance are we expecting on that?
I'm authorizing discretionary use of force against any combatant carrying arms against Magistracy personnel. We expect light resistance. As I've mentioned, the main combatant force is in the northeast part of the planet, protecting Bidon. Probably you're not going to see mechs down in the south.
Very well.
You mentioned that the Magistrate of Pizak Mon is currently neutral to our forces.
Yes.
And when it comes to Aldous Industries and Comstar presence there, does Comstar have any... Have they been interacting with the House Commander?
I believe you would know such a thing better than I.
It's been a while since I've been in the command tent. But yes, something to look into. We don't want to be stepping on any toes that would get retaliatory strikes.
Everyone talks to Comstar, because Comstar talks to everyone. Comstar guarantees the independence of the plants, not the convoys.
Very good. And as far as Dion Mulan goes, they've been not operating as expected. Have they been hostile or merely neglectory?
Administrator Moulin has not been bringing back the kind of numbers that I was hoping for in resource acquisition. Several reports on force readiness status have been subpar.
Understood.
If there aren't any more questions, you're dismissed, except for you, Furnace.
I think at that, Louis will go, ma'am, salute, and then he's gonna turn.
Good luck, Feminist. Alexander leaves.
Pascal remains behind, at least for now.
Okay. She turns away dramatically to look out the window at the giant red sun. And to be clear, Betelgeuse is the biggest star that we know of in the universe, so it's really, really big. She turns back and sees that you're still here, and she just says, I said dismissed.
Oh, very well. Sorry. Then he wanders off. But there's like a slow look back, like you're taking candy away from him as he's walking away.
Mm-hmm. Major Teresa walks past you, so she's standing slightly behind you, Rahul, and says, it's my understanding that your family is quite powerful back home.
Yes, ma'am.
Your grandfather had a lot of very specific things to say about gender equality and male voices in politics.
Yes, indeed he did. I, for one, do not personally share his view.
It's good to hear. I don't need any disruption to the service in my unit.
I have no intention to. If anything, I think my service so far in the militia will show that I believe in following the rank. And, of course, the importance of the list.
She stands behind you and puts her hands on your shoulder and says, are you looking for a promotion?
It is important within the service to seek opportunity where we can find it.
I agree. I like officers that are go-getters. Get out there and do things.
That's the plan, ma'am.
You can feel that she is feeling up your tail and getting dangerously close to grabbing your ass and says,
Yeah.
do you like dogs?
My family have always had a penchant for hounds, as it were. As he does his best to try and not appear as uncomfortable as he actually is.
Hounds, what a great word. I also like hounds. They're so loyal. They do what they're asked to do. If you impress me, and of course, achieve the sort of funding you would need to become a commander, I would certainly be willing to have you continue to stay on. Perhaps even move to my personal unit here on planet.
I appreciate the consideration, ma'am.
You're going to be in charge of your lance, and a few more personnel. We'll be sending 2 jeeps with a squad of scout infantry. Their job is to scream loudly about any ambushes, mines, traps, that sort of thing, before they die. 2 hover APCs with rifleman platoon, regularly rated infantry. Replacements like yourself. Your top kick will be my highest ranking non-commissioned officer on planet, Banner Sergeant Charles Martin. He's been serving since 3001. 29 years in the service. It takes a real man to manage a soldier like that.
Understood, ma'am.
She slides a document off of her desk as she moves around you to stand in front of you. That shows you Special Order 1 for Betelgeuse, which indicates, as I've put on the Discord, that as field commander, any prizes that you capture, you are due 1/4 of their value. Your commanding officer, which is Major Teresa Lupina, is due 1/8 of the share of its value. The Magistracy Command Center, which is basically like the top brass, the 3 highest ranking generals are due 1/4 of its value. And then any supporting personnel shall share 3 ace value split between commissioned officers, non-commissioned officers, and 1 share for all others. As you can see, if you encourage your forces to gather resources for the Magistracy, you will receive great personal wealth.
I see.
I expect all of my officers, and indeed any serving members of my command, to be motivated. Are you motivated?
Of course, ma'am.
I need you to motivate your people.
I will ensure the motivation is spread around.
We're planning some operations for your particular base in about 2 weeks. So get settled into Star Crash tomorrow. If you need to, you can import some personnel for any of the following positions. And then I'm sending you the list of people and positions you can appoint people to, or you can do all the jobs yourself. You're a small unit. And then she says, I expect you personally to handle information operations, resource management, and force modernization.
Yes, ma'am.
Force modernization on Betelgeuse means acquiring enemy equipment for study back home. We cannot afford to lose Battlemechs. The Magistracy makes fewer than 30 Battlemechs a year. There are more planets in the Magistracy than we have new mechs to cover them. If this war drags on long enough, the Capellan Confederation just lost another war. They're on the back foot. They are still more than powerful enough, if given enough time, to crush us. We need to be smart, and we need to bring back best resources, best material, and if you find people, take them back too. Send it home.
Understood. I will ensure we recover only the best. And, of course, what is the most useful to the Magistracy.
No, you don't understand. I don't want you to only recover the best. I want anything that's not nailed down. Anything not in Pyzakmon. Bring
With
it
that, Rahul grins. That can certainly be arranged.
All right. Go introduce yourself to your new lance. Settle in for the night. The new Immortal Warrior movie just dropped if you want to take a watch for that. I expect you to be moving out tomorrow morning.
Yes, ma'am.
You're
We'll
dismissed.
be leaving on the dot. That
Okay,
he turns,
so the
leaves.
rest of you wait outside her office for about 5 minutes. And then this guy comes up with his tail wagging, kind of anxiously.
I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm not gonna ask any questions about that.
Rahul.
Number 8.
Yes. From now on, I will be leading our little group, as well as any other commissioned, non-commissioned officers. Then, we'll be leaving on the morrow, so enjoy your time here while you can. Till then, I expect to get a full report on each of your specialities, and perhaps positions you may be interested in fulfilling among our little group. It is important that we learn to rely on each other, to be each other's aids.
Whatever you say, boss.
Shouldn't
Yes.
be a problem.
Good.
As requested.
I'll have
Well
the
then.
technical specs of the Raven sent over. It's a little bit of heavy reading, but useful to know.
I take it you're good at such technicalities?
Decent enough. He smiles.
Well then, I will have much time to work on them until tomorrow. I'm gonna go grab a drink, if any of you would like to join me.
Ah, yes. Absolutely. A drink sounds wonderful. In fact, we all should go. Bonding opportunity.
Oh, yes, sure.
If you say so, why not?
I'll get my... Oh, sorry, you go.
That was it. You just said why not.
Gotcha. I'll get my gear stowed first. I'd prefer to arrive, well, not dressed in a cooling vest.
Yes, right. Should probably get changed. Well, I expect all of you to report to the bar. That is my official order to all of you.
Sounds like a good first order. Who said the military wasn't going to be fun?
Great.
We may not be in the Magistracy, but we take a little bit of home wherever we go.
Alexander's already off. He's going.
Assuming we all go back to change, Pascal is overdressed for the bar visit. So
For a military kind of like mess.
yeah, very groomed.
I think Alexander's wearing. Are casuals allowed, or is it only fatigues on base?
Good question.
Here's the thing. The Magistracy is not what one would call U.S. Army level.
That's right.
100% casual clothing is, as long as you have some sort of unit identifier or some mark of your rank, you can get in. I guess the better question is whether you guys are going to the officers' wardroom or whether you're going to the general mess.
Oh, officers.
Okay.
I'm going with the,
Yeah,
with
that
the
would be-
regular
There's a
people.
lot of women in here. Very
Oh.
few men.
Right. I think Alexander's. He's the clothes that he's wearing are like, it's mostly street stuff. It's like a nice t-shirt and a nice padded jacket with probably his insignia, his squad insignia or his rank on there or whatever is necessary. But like upon a little bit closer inspection, it's like the clothes that he's wearing are really nice clothes that are made to look like they're not that nice, if that makes sense.
Simple but opulent.
Yeah, like a really well-made expensive jacket, but not one that's like just pricey for the sake of pricey. You know what I mean?
Behind all of the chronic illnesses and debilities, Louis's got a pretty good dress sense. His clothes aren't fancy. They don't have a lot of frippery, but they are nice. Certainly nice enough to be packed in along with the rest of his belongings that went hurtling towards the planet at escape velocity.
I think for
Right.
Pascal, he's wearing what well, he has a culture traveler, so I think he might be dressed in something that one might expect to see some sort of higher end trader dressed in for a formal engagement, not for.
You look good.
Yeah, sharp.
And Rahul is dressed in only the best of noble clothing. A very fine-looking, what would be the word? It would be like a dinner jacket? I'm not sure. The equivalent of like an 80s suit, but in a space setting.
Sure.
It's got like
As
more
you all
buttons than you
enter.
know what to do with. Oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You are immediately approached by this woman, Joanna Tarascan, as she kind of walks over. Nothing about her indicates she's a member of the military, although she does have some grease stains on her face. and pretty calloused hands, and she just says, "Oh, hey, you're the new Lance, right? I've been assigned to you all. Not part of the math. I'm contractor. I'll be
Pleasure to
your
meet
chief
you.
Aztec. That's assistant tech. I noticed you had some dings out there on some of those bad boys. Anybody take a fall recently?
More than others.
You need me to get my girls out there to start working on them, or are you good to go?
Alexander looks to Raoul. What he's taking the lead on this?
There are a few minor scrapes that probably could be looked at. We do leave on the morrow, though. Do you think you can do some quick repairs?
She takes a look at her drink, takes a look around the room, puts the drink down, sighs, and says, "Okay, all right. Contractual obligation and all that. I'll be filing for overtime." Then she walks out of the room. All of you, by the way, as you've entered in here, get a ding on your note pewter. Now, I want to be clear, this is not a Star Trek small tablet. This is not a modern tablet. A note pewter is the size of a laptop, but it's been ruggedized, rubber around the edges, that sort of thing. It weighs about 15 pounds, and it collects wireless messages through Comstar's network and satellite networks. So you get a ding indicating that $1,500 sign-on bonus has been added to your account. So you all no longer have $0. You've arrived and checked in.
1,500 C-bills?
C-bills, yes. Just to be clear, we're only going to use C-bills, by the way, and I'll call them dollars.
It's all good.
Well, let me tell you something. You don't want to use the local L bills. That would be a real mistake. Yes, you've been paid 1,500 C-bill dollars. And, that's all the money you have to live on for your first month until you get your paycheck.
Oh, man. That's a hit to the morale. But that Miss Tarascon, she'll be useful to know. Always good to know who's fixing up your machinery.
Was it necessarily wise to send the woman that's in charge of keeping our things working off her break right away?
To make sure that things are working? I would assume it is a necessary evil.
Perhaps. She seems professional. Maybe
Plus, we need to look good when we arrive.
Yes. Very true. Yeah.
I didn't notice all that much wrong. Minor cosmetic damage and some broken hand actuator. It shouldn't take longer than 2-3 hours.
Pity.
All of you can see around you that groups and cliques are forming and judging each of you for your characteristics as potential marriage partners.
Great.
And whether they want to approach you or not. It's like 4 different small groups of women who are debating among themselves who gets to approach who.
I think with this Raoul goes...
Sorry, you go.
No, you go on.
I've never felt more like a piece of meat before, and I've been on a collect call with a planet full of cannibals.
Welcome to daily life. At least from now on. Come on, let's stick together before they pick us apart.
Is that like a saying? Or...
Don't go to Sirius 4. Never go to Sirius 4.
This man just writing new canon out of nowhere, and I fucking love it.
Sorry.
No, listen, it is perfectly fine. I want to imagine somewhere out there, Lauren Coleman is dying inside.
Wonderful.
Collect call.
That's what we're
with
here
a
for.
planet full of cannibals. Hey, listen, this is Battletech. There is a planet full of cannibal mermen. That exists. They don't talk about it a lot. There's also the alien dinosaurs. They don't talk about that much either.
They need to do fantasy Zoom calls too.
Yeah. Just so you know, a Zoom call in this setting costs like $1 million an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Contact between planets. So what it is a C-bill is 1 kilobyte of data in 1 second. So if you need to do a full-on video call between multiple planets at one time, it is quite expensive.
It'd be like 100 C-bills for a second of that call. Good times and good money.
I like how you think that it will only take 100 kilobytes to do a video call. I think that's underselling it a little bit.
Very low quality, baby. But yes.
Well, we are in 4:3 aspect ratio, so yeah, it will be low quality for sure.
That's true. But I believe Rahul was going to say something.
Yes, Rose gestures over, trying to find either a booth or a place they can sit among the bar that'll make it difficult for people to approach them while they're having conversations.
People see you and they absolutely let you go past and make a space for your group at the bar.
All right.
I imagine there's a scene where Raul is getting ogled as he walks by awkwardly to the bar, and then Pascal comes right behind him with a smile and kind of scares off whoever that was.
So the bartender just steps up and says, "Gentlemen, I'll be your mixologist for the night. You all look a little frazzled. I assume you're new to the planet."
Indeed.
That's right.
I don't need to tell you how Magistracy Society works, but nobody gets too handsy here, and mostly they keep the sort of gendered talk to a real minimum. I don't think they think they're better than you because they're women. They think they're better than you. Well, they think they're better than a mixologist because they're in the military, but I don't think you're going to have that problem. But, yeah. Relax. No one's going to jump you here.
And
The
again,
hotel staff have been pretty good at bouncing. What can I get you?
It is the Magistracy. Whatever you got that's strong.
Okay. He whips you up a mechwarrior specific drink. It's called a PPC. It's based off of the particle projectile cannon that mechs get. A PPC is different based on what space nation it's being served in. So like the bartender asks you whether you want it Liao or Merrick, because technically this is in Liao Capellan lands, but it is currently under contest and being conquered by the Merrick. So he gestures to a bottle of Uzu and a bottle of plum wine.
Which one are our again?
Your allies are Merrick, so the Uzu.
Yeah, it'd be Merrick.
Okay. So it's 2 shots of grain alcohol cut with a shot of Uzu. And it's supposed to hit you like a particle projectile cannon, which is one of the most damaging weapons in Battletech. So he sets you up with 4 PPCs and he says, "On the house, gentlemen. Welcome to Beetlejuice."
Oh, he's given me a drink. I see. Okay. Alexander.
I'm sorry, sir. Do you need water or juice or something?
No, I'm fine, thank you. And he takes a glass and he goes, "I appreciate your hospitality."
Sorry, are
It's
you
very kind of you.
Alexander Shiratori?
I wasn't aware that my face was so recognizable. Yes.
I don't know if AP's just holding the pose, but it looks like he's frozen for me. Yeah, a disconnect from server.
That was a long silence.
Be right back.
I think he.
That didn't work. Someone's not on camera, maybe?
No, we're all on camera.
Here, all here.
What changed? Then? Oh, I know. There we go. There we go.
In-
We're good. We're back
Triggered,
after
yeah.
technical
Okay.
difficulties. I was about to say, it actually happened flawlessly because we kind of cut to BRB before you dropped, AP. We usually take a break anyways, but we're back. So I'll hand it over to you.
Listen, if you need to tell me, I don't know what the break policy is. If you need to signal me in some way or just outrightly say it's break time, please go ahead. It is still
we'll
your
just-
show.
Oh, it's all
I think
good.
we'll just start shouting, "Help! Help! Help!" whenever
Okay.
we're ready for a break. Yeah.
So just to be clear, I lost internet connection when I asked you if you were Alexander Shiratori, and you said,
Oh, I wasn't aware that people knew my face yet. Yes. Yes.
"Oh, yeah, of course." I mean, and he swallows and turns away from you slightly and says, "Well, the thing is, you know, as a hotel and conference center with 30 stories and hundreds of rooms, we like to put very tasteful modern art that can be acquired for a low price but offers a sort of bland background quality that's inoffensive. A number of your pieces are displayed around the hotel. We got them at quite periphery bargain bin prices."
That is where most of my work can be found. I'm happy that you were comfortable taking what you could find, reasonably.
Oh, we've got one in the break room.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when the women get a little bit too handsy and I get anxious, I go into the break room and I stare at it and just kind of zone out.
I'm glad that it provokes some feeling of comfort in you.
No, when I look at it, I feel nothing. And he's looking away from me now, very distantly. I feel nothing at all when I look at it. A complete emptiness.
Well, that can be art to someone too. I suppose the reaction is what matters more than the piece itself, huh? Anywho, I think he starts drinking.
I didn't know you were an artist,
Oh
Alexander.
no! Have we lost AP again?
No,
I'm
he's there.
No?
No, I'm just not moving. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
okay.
hiding from the velociraptors.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We
I
lost
think
the
it was
bartender.
me that we almost lost for a second there.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
we almost lost you. But...
Yeah, I think so.
I got your question though, Thomas. He goes, Alexander goes, my mother was a painter. She did traditional styles. I took up after her. I've got more renown recently than I have had before, so it's an adjustment, I suppose.
Well, I suppose that's the double-edged sword of the creative arts. You never quite know what's going to pop off.
Perhaps you could
Yeah.
study the market. Follow the trends.
I don't. It's hard to describe. Great deal of my work. It's I've never been particularly interested in following wealth. No. Recognition, that's something else, but I don't paint because I want to make money. Though
Yes, always with the starving artist. I get it.
Well, are you any good? Are you any good at it?
well, some people seem to think so. I haven't quite decided yet.
Pity.
If your work
There's,
got you raised to nobility, there's got to be something that captured the eyes, at least, and definitely the hearts of a lot of people.
Yes. My magnum opus thus far.
You're interrupted by a number of women laughing in the background. And you can hear a lot of people saying the word Centrella kind of loudly.
People discussing.
Mean anything? Oh yeah, it does.
Mm.
That's the name of the head of the Magistracy. The noble family that runs it is the Centrella family. Although, legally, it is not a familial position. It is one elected by the noble council. It has basically always been a Centrella that doesn't inherit it, but has earned it through their personal achievements.
Interesting.
I think at that mention, in a quieter voice, Louis says, I wonder who they're talking about. The Magistrix or her heir? She's somewhere on the front lines, but I'm never quite sure where.
Better not to get involved with such conversation.
Well, wise enough.
Politics are always a divisive topic, no?
Oh, yes.
Raoul, politics don't please you? Don't you care about the magistracy and its future?
Oh, of course, as everyone does. But you know, that's for others to decide. I'm simply here to do my job.
And that's a fair way to look at it. Oh, sorry, you go.
I think as Raoul says that, I think Alexander kind of like notes the same level of like, oh, Raoul doesn't want to talk about this, just in the same way that I did not want to talk about the other thing. I'm going to try to figure out how to desperately change the subject to save him. But nothing comes to his mind right away, so you got time.
You can definitely hear in the background, by the way, the sort of drunken political talk that you might find in a more common bar is happening. Discussions about the Centrellas. There's rumors of a marriage, talk about front lines. Someone bumps into you, jostles your elbow, Raoul, while they are going to the bartender to get a drink. They basically push you out of the way to get to the bartender in the process, and just kind of look at you and said, "You don't like talking about politics?"
No, that's not usually why I come to the officer's lounge.
Okay.
I think in this, Louis got a very pleasant smile on his face. He hasn't touched his what was it, positronic ray beam?
PPC. Particle projectile cannon. Let's call it PPC.
But yeah, he's smiling very. Yeah, he's smiling very pleasantly. His back is straight, and he looks very much like he's invested in the conversation with his lance. He's very much trying to keep his ears open for conversations of import, shall we say. He wants to know what the hot goss is, and he doesn't want to be, as a ensign man, kind of showing too much interest in it right off the bat.
Ah, I see. So you're not interested in talking, but you do want to know what the people are saying.
Yes. Once he knows, he's very happy to talk. He just doesn't want to go in blind. He doesn't want to go, "Hey, I'm a Centrella. Here are my good opinions."
Make a perception check with wisdom.
Absolutely. What's my wisdom? 8. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so that is +0. And then, do you even have perception as a skill?
Yes, I picked it.
How many ranks in it?
Just 1, I believe.
So you have a +0 to that as well.
Alrighty. So I just roll 1 dice.
2d6, and you're looking to hit a 7 or better for literally the minimum. 7 is the minimum to get anything.
I got a 5, unfortunately.
Are you a warrior or an expert?
Expert. Oh
You
yes,
could
I
reroll
have.
that.
I have like a charm. I can once per IRL hour reroll a skill check. You know what? I'm gonna.
Now I got him for the next fucking hour. Oh boy, the dice did
Still a
not
5.
get better either. Yeah.
The dice never get better. Look, this is Louis' lot.
Look, I'm gonna offer you a devil's bargain. What's more
Oh.
important to you? Hearing something and exposing that you were listening in, or not being exposed and not learning anything?
If you were asking Louis, it would definitely be the latter.
I'm not.
If
I'm
you're
asking you.
Definitely the former. I really want to hear something.
Okay. Your distraction attention wavers from the group, and a woman nearby literally physically grabs your arm and pulls you into her circle of discussion. There's a bunch of laughing happening, and there's like a toast ongoing, and she like gestures for you to raise the toast as she says, to Emma Centrella, to her engagement. And the rest of the
To Emma
women
Centrella, star of the Magistracy.
So one of the women's looking at you and is just like, so who do you like more, Kiala or Emma?
That's a very dangerous question, particularly because one of them holds the throne at the moment. But I have to say, there's something about actually fighting alongside one of them. But I've got no complaints about how anything's being run.
Okay, so there's like a appreciative nod between all these women, and one of them is like, oh, so he likes military women fighting beside them. Interesting.
I like to know
Feels-
when I'm putting
feels
my
so
life
fun.
on the line that I got people I can trust beside me.
All right, Rizzler. Let's back this up with a check here real quick.
All right,
The Rizzler.
The Rizzler. Now,
Rizzler.
there are a couple of different skills I'll accept on this one. Obviously, Persuade with Charisma. But, to some extent, I'll also accept Survival, Tactics, or even Business.
I love survival. I love survival as a thing.
Survive. Objective survive.
Some people know how to dig holes in a forest. Some people know how to. God, don't mention it. I would.
You're
like
a
to
commoner.
persuade
You've been
with
pulled
charisma.
into a discussion about
Yeah.
the highest ranking nobles in your land.
Oh yeah.
You're
For all Louis is like, yeah, this is all fine. I've got no complaints. He's like, dear God, if I say the wrong thing, I'm gonna be court-martialed or worse.
yeah.
I'd like to use persuade. I got a charisma of 12.
Okay, so that's a 0, I believe. And you got any ranks in Persuade?
I do. I got 1 rank.
Okay, so you have a 0 on this roll as well.
Yep. We know how this has worked out for me before,
Indeed,
but
classic.
statistically. So 2 dice.
2 dice.
Oh baby, 10.
Okay. There is a lot of nodding, a lot of raised eyebrows, and this party moves to pull you further away from the rest of your friends, as it's no longer 100% focused on you. You're consulted during discussions about politics, but it's no longer like all eyes are on you. You've been accepted as
Yes.
a member of the pack.
Wonderful. I think like as he's kind of being accepted and just melting into the group, he tries telepathically to convey his panic to the remaining 3 men, but obviously it doesn't work because scions aren't in this universe. But yeah, he has a good time.
You have not gone
Yeah.
far enough down in the lore yet.
I have not. That's true. Are there? Well, we can talk
We're
about
not
it later.
there.
But yeah, I think
It's highly
Yeah.
questionable whether neo-Buddhist, genetically altered super monks are actually psychic, or whether they can just predict the future with high enough accuracy using quantum mathematics.
that's
Are they?
green.
They never answer it in the lore whether they actually have magic powers or whether they're just good at math.
But
So
yeah, I
true.
think Louis has a good time schmoozing with these people. Like, now that it's no longer almost life or death, he's liking hanging out with these people, pretending to drink and occasionally really drinking.
Okay.
Who is the one that kind of came in on Raul there? And
Oh, she's still there. She's still waiting to get her drink.
Okay. What did Raul do in response? Just curious.
He kind of engaged her in friendly conversation and then avoided eye contact.
Yeah, he said, that's not why I come to the officers' mess, generally.
It's time, Bob.
I'm debating.
I don't know what you're about to do, but I'm so excited for you to do it.
Yeah. I think I think Pascal's gonna try and persuade Raul to actually he's gonna go to the lady that he's just about to talk. Yeah. He's gonna say, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. I am Pascal. This is Raul. Have you had a chance to...
You're Ensign LaRue.
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're taller than I thought you'd be.
How great of you to say.
Sorry, what was your question? I wasn't paying attention to you before you introduced yourself.
Oh, well, Raul's just busy preparing for our future mission. He is our leader, after all. I just wanted to... And he kind of like motions for her to like step away for a second. And say... He says,
Okay, she'll raise an eyebrow and then step away with you.
Yeah. I'll have you
trying to hit that?
Not at all. He's gonna try to push this on Raul a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. He's gonna go, our leader here is very stressed. He's a bit anxious in these sorts of social gatherings. And sometimes it takes more than once to really get through to him.
Am I now?
Well,
Hey, he's sidebarring.
yeah,
You can't
sidebar.
interrupt on that. Sidebar.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
It's been invoked.
Yeah. But there is a look with a smile between Pascal and this lady. And he says, perhaps a second try would work in your favor if there is any interest.
Sorry, I was not flirting with him. I actually wanted a drink and pushed him aside.
Oh.
Make your roll, though, with persuasion charisma.
Okay. What happens when you have persuasion twice? How does that work?
You have a +1 then.
Okay.
So a 1 rank opens the skill at 0,
Yep.
and a second one gives you a +1.
And a charisma aids 0, or am I using
It's a
charisma?
0.
Yeah.
A 7 is a -1, so
Okay.
an 8 is a 0, I believe. So you're rolling at a +1.
7, 8.
Not bad. That's an 8. She looks at you as you are wingmanning Rahul. And then she looks at Rahul and says, you know what? I wasn't going to go for it. But actually, if I can get my claws on him first... She puts a hand on your shoulder and says, you're a good friend, pal. And then she goes down and she presses up against you with the side of her body, Rahul, and is just like, hey, I've got tickets to the Immortal Warrior movie. You want to just get out of here?
His tail straightens as this happens. And then he kind of turns his head and goes, I'm not one for films. More of a theater man myself.
I have a hotel room.
I've got to get up early tomorrow, so...
Alright. Listen, Bob. This is what happens. She turns to look back at you after she has been devastatingly rejected and gives you the glare of death. She's blaming... Listen, from her perspective, you just set her up to walk into this. And several other people here have watched her get destroyed by a guy at number 8, and she makes eyes at you that indicate that you're on her shit list, and she will destroy you at some point later in her life.
He looks at her and he's like,
as she's walking past you, she stops and she says, "Look, 2 of you are gay or bi or whatever, I don't care. I don't want to come in between the 2 of you. You don't have to mess around with people like me." And then she gives you a slight shoulder check as she walks off.
some people's manners. He's gonna walk back.
A mixologist is just standing there like, "Oh, gentlemen, you've allowed yourself to be separated and you're being picked off one by one. I have to tell you, this is a losing strategy. You're
I
not nearly
assumed
drunk
as
enough
much.
for it."
At this point, though, if they can't survive on their own, not much use to the squad, now are they?
But a
What
lance
about-
works better with 4 pilots.
Yes! 4 pilots that can handle themselves.
Is anyone doing anything about Louis here? Or Louis?
I'm considering it. I haven't decided if Alexander's going to try to rescue him or if he's going to try to dip into the break room and take a look at which one of his art is hanging, which one of his works is hanging up there.
Oh,
I might
listen, if
flip a
you
coin
make
for
any
it.
indication of the bartender, he'll take you back there.
I think.
Okay. All right. I'll flip a coin for it. I'll see what he does.
All right. I think for
Flip a
one thing,
coin.
Rahul is going to get a look at Louis to see how he's doing, whether he's under threat of being eaten alive, essentially.
Hold on, I'll get you a coin real quick. Hold on,
Oh no,
how
I
to
just
do
rolled
this.
a d20 and went for odds or
I was
evens.
gonna say-
I love coins, but also I don't need one.
That is a chip.
That's true, that is a chip.
Uh,
but let's have 2 sides.
It is the same on
It's
both
delightful.
sides.
That's true.
it's a delightful little chip.
Let's flip it! Got no fucking
flip it.
idea.
Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
good
Here's a
news- good
United
news, Louis.
States quarter. We did it.
Ooh, yeah!
Hell yeah! Oh, it's gone.
Hey!
No, no.
And
Uh,
it's gone.
Good news, Louis.
It's tails, and it landed
I have-
correctly.
I have rolled in favor of rescuing you. So, I think Alexander kind of watches everybody flounder at once in different ways and areas. And I think he'll take just a little bit more of his drink and then use it as an excuse to leave it there and sneak over into the crowd where Louis is and goes, Louis, I forgot. I want to go over your ammunition types. Just before tomorrow, you don't mind if I steal you for a moment, eh? I want to coordinate.
Oh, you've twisted my arm. But yes, ladies, there is a lot to do left. We ship out on the morrow. We're heading south. But it's been lovely meeting you all. Have a drink on me. And he gives them a smile and raises his cup, and then he looks at Alexander and goes, "Yeah, let's go. He wasn't doing amazingly badly, I think, like on a 10. But he was certainly going, this isn't my ideal scenario. I haven't prepared for this. But they
It's more
seem
about
nice
how
enough.
comfortable you were. Yeah, I think.
He
as you
looked
guys-
comfortable.
As you guys are walking back, he goes, "You handled yourself pretty well. You sure you haven't been in these circles before?"
It's all about dealing with people, I suppose. They wrote a booklet about it. It took me about 7 months to stop beginning all of my sentences with, "This is Comstar, how can I help?" But other than that, it all works.
So as
Still,
you're leaving,
thank you for your help.
multiple women are like making physical contact with you and doing the like, "Oh, you have to leave. It's so sad. We understand, etc., etc." You can tell that you've made a pretty big splash here. Like, it's not like anyone's throwing themselves at you to bring you back to the room, but you've piqued some interest here that maybe you're not just a dumb idiot.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I'm not being
fools.
seen as not a dumb idiot.
However, your public declaration of being behind Emma Centrella has also been noted.
Yes. Luckily, he wasn't too vocally like anti the current Magistrix, but yes, he was behind her.
Well, you were with the party girls celebrating MSN Fellow's betrothal, so yeah.
Yes.
Whether you want to or not, you have been pushed into a camp.
That's gonna be great. Who was she betrothed to, by the way?
Ooh, hold on a second. I actually have that information. I just have to switch tabs.
Can you imagine?
Surprise!
This random commoner.
It is a man by the name of Richard Humphreys. So the Duchy of Andurian, that is your allies who launched this war off, when they broke away from House Marek, their leader, Duchess Catherine Humphreys, called her good friend, the Magistrix Kaela Centrella, and 2 days after the Declaration of Independence, they launched the joint war. Now, of course, the military was not ready for a war on 2 days' notice, which is why reserves like you are now on the front lines so far from home, as more and more industry back home is being shifted over and troops are being deployed. But the big thing is that to tie the two nations together, the Duchess Catherine Humphreys' fifth son, Richard, is being married to the only daughter of the Centrella line, essentially uniting the two lines together. I think that with your inner sphere knowledge, you know that Richard is a dick. No one likes him. He's a hedonist. He is the Magistracy. I have not said this to the audience, perhaps. The Magistracy is a very sexually open and sex positive society. Like, just to be clear, like, women are going to be flirty here, guys are going to be flirty here. Casual sex is a thing. Hookups may not revolve around like longer term relationships in a way that our modern American society isn't able to get to. But Richard is like a freak, and it's well known among the inner sphere. Nobody likes him. And so this news that she's being forcibly married to him is, it probably sucks for her.
Yeah, I think Louis definitely gets the impression, okay, this is certainly not about Emma, and it's more about Kyla. She really, really, really wants to do good things for her friend, the Duchess. But what is that exactly?
Unite the bloodlines. That's what it is.
Unite the bloodlines.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. And I think Louis now has, like, knowledge in his head and is nodding, and then he winces as he remembers. He did say fairly unequivocally good things about people, so that's going to bite him in the ass.
I think
Still, he nods to Alexander.
Yeah, I think Alexander kind of elbows you and... Don't worry about it. Things happen.
They do. Thanks for your help. And if you do actually want to go over the ammunition, I've got the technical specs ready. Just in case.
Well, aren't you prepared? No worries. Though
I carry this around for a reason, he says, like, kind of like lifting up the satchel with the laptop size.
The note.
What was it? Data slate?
Note pewter.
No, the
note pewter.
He goes, I hope I wasn't being presumptuous in wanting to rescue you, yeah?
You saw a man drowning and wanted to help him. That speaks well of you. And certainly, I couldn't have kept that up for long. I've got the alcohol tolerance of specifically a very small fish.
If it helps, you didn't look like you were drowning.
That's the most important part. I think Louis will put like a friendly hand, not too like hard, but kind of just like patting on
touch
the
me.
shoulder.
No, I think when you touch him, he winces. Not
sorry.
like pain, just like he wasn't expecting it. And goes, no, it's fine. I'm fine. It's not. Just pretend I didn't do that. Yeah.
No, I get it. Different strokes for different folks. And if you're not comfortable with that, then I shall not.
It just surprised me. I'm fine, really.
All good. In any case, let's finish up our drinks and then. What is up with Pascal?
So,
I'm not sure.
as you say that, Pascal, a orderly comes in, like a human, comes in and is just like, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Ensign LaRue. Sir, Ensign LaRue here.
That is me. Yes.
There's someone outside the wardroom who would like to speak with you."
Ah, very good. He looks back to the others with them, and then he'll head out.
As you exit, there is a gentleman. He's got like a round, almost fatty, pale face, Chinese man wearing like a black tailcoat and immaculately polished shoes. He's got a cane. He's just standing there and says, "Ah, my boy, LaRue. I assume you've come to oversee the operation. I flew over in my Karnov and I have several pieces."
I.
You have
Sorry,
no idea who
sir.
this person
You
is.
are.
Sorry, did your father not send you here?
Not directly.
I see. I see. There's been a mistake. I understand. Just let your family know that business will continue as usual then. My
Oh.
apologies, my good boy. My apologies.
Oh. I see. Yes. Sorry, it's been a long
Yes?
day traveling. Yes. Yes, you
Yes?
did.
Yes, your father sent you here.
Yes. Yes, of course. I
Oh,
misunderstood what you were trying to get at.
why don't we head up to my Karnov? It was difficult getting flight clearance. You know, this place used to be one of our best dropship ports, but ever since the Magistracy military moved in, it's been rather difficult. Had to bribe several officials here in order to get clearance, but it's just out this way. You'll walk with me.
Very well, very well. And
So this man, whose name you still don't have, leads you to the back of a massive transport helicopter, which is filled with Capellan cultural artifacts. Some of them appear to date back as far as ancient China on Earth, and others are just several hundred years old. Text, pieces of artwork, scrolls, clay pots, statues, soldiers, terracotta work. You've seen pieces like this at your family estate, and it definitely seems like something that your family sells to other people. Uh, but also, you notice that a lot of this stuff still has the tags from the museum, like the local museums that it's been taken from. And the guy is just like, perhaps there are some premium pieces that you think that your father would like to see more than others. Yeah, as you may know, dropship space is rather limited at this time. So, if you could tell me exactly what your father's looking for, we can get as much. I can't fit this whole thing into a dropship. I probably can only get a few hundred cubic meters.
of course, absolutely. Now you said it has the tags and such, right?
Some of them do, yes.
Some
Like
do.
they very clearly still got their Dewey Decimal catalog on the outside of some of the books.
Well,
That says like property of Huanzong University, that sort of thing.
he's a bit cocky. I think he'll just try to appraise what's here, and based on his knowledge of his dad and what he thinks the price is for these things, what would be the most valuable to dad, which he probably is only knows like from from his dad's taste from growing up, right?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a business intelligence or a artist wisdom check.
That will 100% be business intelligence. Ooh.
You're a businessman with a business plan.
Yeah,
Here to make some money in
an
business
artist
land.
inside, but I don't think we're close enough yet. Not for this sort of thing. All right, let's do.
Not
we're
for
gonna-
your highly illegal smuggling
100%.
operation,
Yeah.
stealing cultural artifacts.
that he didn't know was
And that was
happening till
before
right
the
now.
war.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. We're gonna do intelligence. Would you say it was business, right?
Yes.
Ooh, I'm gonna re-roll that because why not?
Okay. Yeah, it's quite bad. That's less
Hey.
bad.
And I've got intelligence 14, and I have business.
That's +1 then. And if you have one in business, yeah, it's a +1 overall. That's an 11. You pick out several pieces that are small. They might not be the oldest, but they're rare, highly sought after. You know, the kind of thing you could fit a suitcase full of, something you could easily store on a dropship, but will clear a couple 100,000 C-bills. Now, of course, there's all sorts of bribes that need to be paid along the way, and everyone's got to take a cut, but probably your father will be highly pleased to have somebody on the ground who has directed the most valuable pieces to fall into your family's hands. He'll probably also be surprised that you were involved, given that you knew nothing about this.
Exactly.
Just to be clear, for the folks at home, Bob also didn't know about this. He was like, "Can you set up a surprise about my family for me?" And I was like, "Great, they're going to be fucking smugglers."
I love that.
I imagine that'll take the rest of his that's gonna take some time. I imagine.
Yeah. No mortal warrior for you.
I love the chutzpah of Pascal, like going into this thing going, okay, this is incredibly illegal, and I don't know who this guy is, and I don't know quite. Wait, hold on, yeah, that's valuable. Yeah, set that up.
Well, if you're going to do a job wrong, you need to do it as wrongly as possible.
Exactly.
Exactly. Do wrong right.
Is there anything anyone wants to do before the morning?
Can I sneak into that break room?
Of course. The mixologist actually offers to have it removed from the frame if you would like to sign it. Of course, it has your signature on it, but it's one of those, your manager copy-pasted a signature on there sort of deal. Actually, you've noticed around the hotel that it's on all of your pieces, is this, shitty signature that looks exactly the same.
Whoever the dealer was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. Alexander kind of he's not used to this kind of treatment, so he'll smile and he'll be like, of course. And I think the piece is a Gansai watercolor painting of a koi fish, and he signs it up off in the corner where it will be visible outside of the frame or in the frame, if necessary, if they want it to be like that. And he kind of smiles and, well, hopefully that will bring you a little bit more of an escape. Huh?
It's so bland, corporate. It's the color beige.
Well, that was.
He's looking at it with a slight smirk. He's just like,
that was actually painted before I had any kind of. Never mind. Was a pleasure to meet you.
oh, sorry. Are you a famous artist in the Magistracy now?
I am now.
Oh, we haven't gotten any of your more recent works. We mostly just bulk order your catalog.
Yes. I know. Most of the things that I've done before, they weren't very popular until after the River Styx started selling. That's the one I'm really famous for.
Oh wow. Do you have a picture of it that I can see? Your noteputer has up to 10 gigabytes of data.
Nope.
I see. No picture of it. Well, so going for the Londo Malari energy? First off, if you want Londo Malari energy, you will have to make Mark your sidekick, and second, you need to be a lot more bombastic. You're not nearly Italian enough to be Lando Malari.
We got to give it
Let
time.
me
That's
tell
a
you about
21-year-old
my wife.
upstart. He doesn't have any. He can't hang his hat.
Mr. Garibaldi,
I think
Mr. Garibaldi.
my shoes are too tight. I
Now, the
didn't
river-
understand what my father meant when he said that.
I think the River Styx,
Okay.
because it's the piece that got him nobility, right? That's regarded as like the masterpiece of his, of his catalog.
Yes. Yeah.
I imagine like most people at least are most people who know anything about him are probably pretty, like, if they're familiar with his work, that's the one they know. So I think he probably doesn't bring it around, and also he's not very proud of it. So, like, even though it
You
is
don't
a
remember
masterpiece-
painting it, right?
Exactly. He doesn't remember painting it. So there's an error of like, oh, great, everybody loves this piece of mine. I can't comment on it if they ask me questions. And also, it kind of makes me sick looking at it. So, yeah, I think he doesn't have I don't think he keeps a copy of it anywhere near him, because
He
most
makes a
people know
bunch
it.
of noises. He's just like, oh, it must be an artist thing. You don't carry your best work around. I get it. I understand. I'll put in a word with our art director, see if we can get a few copies of it for the hotel.
Whatever brings you joy. Thank you for
Samba
Being
dancing.
thank you for being willing to share this with me. It's been a while since I've seen the koi.
Hey, no problem. Look, we see a lot of people come through here, Seen a lot of... You look like you needed somebody to talk to.
Is that so? You could just tell I was an artist just from my loneliness, huh?
No. I kind of recognized your picture.
Well,
I recognized your loneliness, but I didn't think artist. It didn't jump out to me immediately. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Be 100%.
well, I guess they don't have newspapers. My picture has been in the news for the last couple of months, so I can imagine.
Oh yeah, we have newspapers and we get the Comstar Daily. I mean, look, I recognize that you Canopians are kind of new out here, but most people don't pay attention to your little collection of worlds. You guys got what, 40 planets?
I think I'm going to turn in for the night. It was lovely meeting you. You have a good evening, huh?
Yeah, you too.
I love that guy. I'm a huge fan of
fucking
the
hate
work.
that guy.
It's so bland. It's impressively bland. When I look at it, it makes me feel nothing. The absence of anything. Anyway, can we have your autograph?
The pure spike of pain of him saying it feels so corporate, when that was one of the things that he would have painted before he got famous, when he was like, when he had no backing from anything. It was like, it's in his mother's style, and he's just like, oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Just remember,
I
art
gotta-
is received differently in different
He's-
places, and this is a
he's got-
totally different culture.
He's got
That
such
said,
a headache.
I'm so glad that Louis likes the mixologist, because you did offer to buy drinks to all those women at the bar.
That's actually
You-
what I was going to say.
Yeah, you've been
I was
dinged.
straight up.
Your tab's been dinged for 45 C-bills.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, once it goes over to that, I was like, Louis wasn't just making noise. He is going to do that and strike while the iron was hot.
Yeah.
He's like, this will make me look better and also make me a little bit more forgettable at the same time. But yes, I'm going to subtract 45 C-bills, so I'm at 1,455.
Okay.
That's what I was actually going to say, so I'm
Perfect.
good.
Is there anything else before the morning comes?
Oh, yeah. Rahul will remind everyone that they must write their reports before the morning about who they are and their skills and specialties. And he is 100% serious about that.
What are you, a cop?
I love
Kinda.
the idea that the last line of a formal military email is, "I'm serious about this, guys."
I'm serious about this. I swear to God.
Perfect. That's exactly where I want this series to be in
Yeah.
terms of military accuracy.
Do not
yeah,
make
only
me
in
look
the
bad.
Magistracy.
Yeah,
Look, I know that like sometimes people ignore orders. Do this one.
Mhm.
Listen, I want that feel that you get from Ace Combat when you hear someone over the radio go, "Is that pilot with the 3 strikes? I'm calling you out." And then you get a cinematic of someone doing a double barrel roll before engaging you, and you're like, "Oh shit, this is Yellow 8."
I love
Hey,
Yellow
Commander
8.
Rahul, who's this guy? He's calling me out, and I don't know if he's. No, wait, hold on. He's on our side. Why is he doing a barrel?
Oh,
roll around
don't
me?
listen. Don't call him Commander Rahul. He's
He's not a commander. He's still ensign.
Not a
Ensign
commander
Rahul,
yet.
Got you.
He's in command.
Technically, he's
Not a commander.
Yeah, he's a lance.
Understood.
Somewhere out there, there's a British Navy guy who's like, "I am a captain, but my rank is lieutenant of this ship."
Yeah.
At like some point before we go on our actual like mission, there's gonna be a point where Pascal's like, "All right, I think it's time to bring this out. This is very important before we get busy." And he pulls out his actual copy of the list, and he's like, "All right, so remember these names." It's like he's gonna go through and be like, "Robert Allard, Raoul, that's for you. He's your next."
Can I
barrier
assume
of
that this is in the morning, right before you're setting out on your mission?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
someone walks up to you and he looks like this.
Oh, I should say, Rahul did get Louis' report. It's very much. There's a lot of it about the Raven, which is a specialized electronic defense, like attack and kind of countermeasure thing.
So there's a
Charles
older
Martin.
man walks up to you in an MAF uniform, gives you something like a quick salute, very casual, and hands you all a newly printed out version of the list. However, you will note that Louis Gabriel is now in position 26, having bumped Ensign Edmund Paget down to 27.
Ooh.
Nope.
Fuck that guy, I guess.
And so the man who's handing you these things says, Ensigns, I'm Banner Sergeant Charles Martin.
Ah,
Been
49.
assigned to your command. Yes, 49. Yes, I'm the least fuckable man on the planet. Thank you, sir. Glad to know you're paying attention.
Charles Martin. I've heard a bit about you from the Major.
I'm
I
sure
hope
she had a
it
lot
will
to
be-
say about me.
Indeed she did. I hope we have a decent time working together.
I assume it will be satisfactory, sir. I'm going to make
Good to
sure all
hear.
the warriors and leaders are ready to go.
Good. We leave on the dot.
On which dot?
Is that the kind of terminology you'll be using, sir?
In like 45 minutes.
He walks away from you and he says, "These gosh darn ensigns, brother. These gosh darn ensigns. Leaders!" And you see a bunch of NCOs running up to him as he starts issuing orders.
I assume people know it just means on the hour. Whatever.
I guess the difficulty is figuring out which one. Still,
The next
Charles
one.
Martin, he's
Yeah.
grizzled, experienced. He'll be good.
Yes. He's probably going to be a problem. Hopefully not a bad one.
So long as you make him feel valued, I think. Make it so that you don't look down on him because you're a noble or because you're a mech warrior. You listen to his advice. It doesn't even have to be true.
Very well.
I love that you're just automatically advising him with no prompt at all about this.
Well, hey, he wants an
It's
easy
being
time.
noted.
Look, Louis didn't want to fight in a war. He wanted a mech, and he didn't think that a war was going to happen. But now that he's in one, he wants to do well.
we're all reservists. Do we have any of us have any experience?
Oh no.
I do. I've been serving for the last 8 months.
I've mostly been drinking in the officers' lounge.
I've been studying, but, well, nothing like the real thing. I had the necessary training to be a reservist and, no dab hand with a laser pistol, but my main focus was elsewhere. Then the war came.
Well, I guess
Still.
we learn now.
No teacher like experience, huh?
I'm sure we'll do just fine.
Oh, that said, I still need to slave your comms to my Ravens modules, so that'll be fine once we get going.
You were a former Comstar, aren't you?
That's right. Since graduation.
I see. Are you good at technical intelligence? Signals and such?
Let me check my character. I am, yes. I'm a dab hand with most technologies,
How
especially
about
communication.
computers?
Computers and Postech, whatever that is.
I see. Congratulations. You're officially my signals personnel.
Happy to be of service.
So just to be clear, post-tech is what is referred to in this. So post-tech is a stars without numbers term that actually translates over to Battletech very well. Deep in the past, the Starlink had way more advanced technology than what the current universe has. So as technology has degraded, what is currently the new hotness is actually like 600 years old. Which is almost exactly like how post-tech works. So you're basically just good at modern military stuff, which means you suck. Hey, listen, everybody sucks because everyone's bad at technology. There was a time when heat sinks were twice as good as they are now.
I long for
Go
those
get me my
days.
cassette tapes.
It's a
We've
Zoom.
got a hot meg of RAM on this floppy disk.
Oh, just to be clear, your Battlemechs are run on 8 floppy disks. You have to put them all in sequential order in order to start it up. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
They're probably not even floppy disks. They're those like I'm gonna age myself here real quick. Those like fat zip disks that were like floppy disks, but like 8 times as thick.
Zip drives, yeah, I remember that.
Zip drives, yeah. Some people here know what I'm talking about. Good.
Louis looks to Rahul and goes, "All right, I can do that. Fits with my skill set. I'll be doing the same job for less pay and getting shot at more. Well, this was a good life choice."
Pats him on the back. Welcome to the army.
Okay. We do a slight screen wipe as we find your set of Battlemechs approaching the village of Sarachion. And that's where we're going to call it for the night. But you can see as this loads in that we have a very impressive battlefield. This is about 1/4 of the size of what we will use for non-tutorial sessions. But, yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, man, it's going to take a little
look at
while
that.
for Eric's to load in.
That is a sexy looking 51%. Oh, 61%. There you go.
I'm at 96, but it's been that for a little while.
Sexier, 61%.
99.
88.
We're getting there. We're getting there, baby.
90. Ah.
Still at 96 and it hasn't changed, but I'm positive thinking. I'm manifesting.
Right, that explains why nothing's changing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm at 55 again, but many things have appeared, so. Oh, I'm at. Oh, God. Ah!
I'm gonna have to figure out it in the off time too before the next one. Why it doesn't show when I try to show the display. Seems to be stuck on like the map. Yeah.
You're also going to have to figure out, and pardon me for saying so, who's going to do the introduction of what's going to happen.
So true, whatever it
during
is you're saying.
It's
Ooh,
not
asset bundles failed, but loading is complete.
Okay.
Oh, it looks so nice. It looks so
Ready?
nice, you guys.
Let's do some introductions then. Now that we're here, everyone can recap this session if you'd like to. Outroduce yourself to the audience, and let me say, everyone has gained 500 XP, except for Louis, who gets an additional 100 for moving up one rank on the list.
Thank you kindly.
everyone was making fun of Bob about the trying to focus, or Pascal about.
I love that you were the one
list.
concentrating on the list, and yet you did literally nothing to move up or down on it.
100%, not at all.
Spent-
That'll be his
You
focus.
spent all of your time trying to push other people up.
Oh, that's his fun.
You
That's part
spent
of
your
it.
time and you offended a lady and humiliated her in front of her friends.
Perfect. It didn't push me down the list, so yet. He's gonna do a lot of that, guys. Let's get ready for it.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm fucking here
Oh,
for
yeah.
it, man.
But yes, outros. Liam, I call on you.
Oh, can we just randomly call on other people to do this?
Hi, can I be heard?
I guess so, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We can hear you.
Yep.
I guess. You can hear
Oh,
me?
he's stuck loading the map.
Yeah. Oh, that might be.
Yeah.
You were first
I
last
am.
time, so I wanted symmetry. Oh, well,
going on?
while he's doing that, I might as well. Hello, I've been Thomas, and I have also been Louis Gabrielson, whose bones break every day. He wakes up, and when he goes to sleep, they heal only slightly before they break again, and he gets consumption. I didn't have him cough into a handkerchief and have blood, because I feel that that's better saved in my back pocket. But it has been absolutely delightful playing MechWarrior. And this is a very new system, so thank you all for being patient. And thank you, AP, for running, because it's always a pleasure. Louis is going to die, but I'm unsure what's going to kill him. And that's where I like to be.
I have a fun fact for you.
Hmm.
When I was young, my grandmother told me that consumption was alcoholism because it was something that mostly affected the Irish. So I went through my whole life thinking that was true when she was joking.
Indeed.
That's actually really that's funny.
So fucked
Oh.
up.
Makes sense.
Especially
It's
because
really
she's
fucking
Irish.
dark. Oh.
All right.
All right. I suppose I can go next.
Sure.
Hello, I have been Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and I have been playing Rahul Chastain of the Great Chastain family. He is so far been getting hit on in a lot of ways he finds very uncomfortable, but he deals with it because that's what he does. Yeah, and he has a fun wolf tail because why the fuck not? Hope you guys have enjoyed watching us. By the way, we have a Discord, which I think the link is available by putting something in the chat. Yeah. I have some stuff on my own channel on the Cat's Meow Show. And yeah, I hope people have enjoyed watching us, and I hope people are ready to learn more about each of our characters and how they'll die horribly. Yeah.
All right. I can jump in if you want. Next. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I'm Bob. I host the show from the sense that I turn on OBS and it's on my channel. And then AP does all the hard work. And I played Pascal LaRue tonight, who is a Machiavellian merchant slash greenhorn black market dealer now, as of about 20 minutes ago. And I look forward to either making everyone's life great or terrible or just entertaining. We'll see what happens.
Fantastic. I want to say, Bob pitched this show to me in very loose terms, and then I wrote about 40% of the entire storyline in 3 hours, and then I went, "Yep, this is good enough," and said, "We're going to greenlight it." And that's pretty much how the show came about being. It's about 3 hours worth of work.
That's how it goes, man. That's how it goes.
Then there were a lot more filling in that last 60. You're coming in.
Am I coming in at a decent time, or am I delayed?
We could always hear you.
Yeah,
he's at 96% right now, but his ping is 999.
I see.
Yeah.
So close to loading.
I have pretty good internet, and I have a pretty good computer, and I'm dying right now for some reason.
It's
hi,
probably
everybody.
your
I don't know how
first
late
time
this is gonna
loading
be,
all
but-
these models.
Yes. I'm Liam. I played Alexander Piotr Shiatori, and I'm very much excited to play my darling artist soldier here. I'm having a great time with this. I'm looking forward to coming back to it in a month.
Is that me? Am I the last one left?
Yes, it's
You are indeed.
Yeah,
Yep.
we
Oh, wow.
did us all.
Yeah, but I didn't. I guess I technically did intros first. So you threw me out of the order there. Now I'm confused. Hey, friends. I'm AP Gaming Real. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch at those same places. These guys do Pendragon. Now they do Battletech. I actually thought we would get to and finish the battle tonight. I didn't realize we were going to have so much guy downtime and crime committing. I thought that would all happen later. Instead, we got harassed and hit on a lot tonight. More
You
than I
expect
thought.
us not to drag things out with roleplay, Pendragon players, and specifically us four?
Yeah, we
Here's
spend
what I
90%
like,
of
though.
our Pendragon game in Feast, to be honest. So.
I wrote the character of Major Teresa Lupina. She was the first thing I wrote, was her when I designed this. And you might notice that like the name of her base is Wolf Base, and the name of her unit is Hound Company. And this motherfucker comes in and it's like, I have a dog tail, and I'm like, damn, she gonna fuck you up, brother. She's gonna destroy you.
Without
You
even
take
knowing,
all
I
our
fucking
fucking-
walked right into it.
Yeah.
Just immediately. It was just immediate. Oh shit, I've made a mistake.
Rahul, I don't want to ask any questions, but there was a leash on her desk that wasn't there before.
Oh, listen.
Don't
we
ask.
We didn't even talk about how several of her officers have collars.
Yep.
Oh,
God.
man,
That's
really?
that's in the
Jesus
notes. It's
Christ.
100%
Bro,
canon. Yeah.
where'd you get that collar from? Don't ask.
She a freak. She a
Don't
freak.
ask.
And it's definitely gonna come up later.
Mm-hmm.
Great, love that. That's cool.
Hey, don't worry. Listen, we're gonna find somebody to hit on Alexander and make him even more uncomfortable. Maybe we
We'll all
can
get a turn.
find someone that'll inspire him to black out again and do another portrait. He'll do the modern version of
Oh.
the Mona Lisa, and he'll be like, "Who is this person? I've never met them before."
That would be really awful for whoever is the subject of that painting, most likely.
I do like the idea
History's
of his.
greatest simp.
Yeah, I do like the idea of his greatest statistic rival being himself,
Yeah.
just without even fucking knowing.
Yep.
It's fair. It's
Yep.
fair. All right.
Quite dreadful.
When are we set for the next episode?
That's a really good question.
It'd probably be the 10th for the Americans. The 10th of December. Maybe.
Let me get that in my calendar.
What is it for you now? To the 12th?
It is the 13th right now.
Is that because it's midnight EST?
Yes, it's
Well,
1
it's
a.m.
12
here.
for me, yeah.
Got you. So it would be the 10th.
In December 10th. It's a Sunday. Yep, I can get that on the calendar.
Indeed. Thanks again,
It's party,
AP,
party.
for running this, for playing us through this. Looking forward to showing how bad we are at Battletech, both in and out of character. So it'll be good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great so far.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah,
I'll
wait till
work
we get
on,
to the
I'll
battle
work on
part.
Alexander's accent.
We're all getting the vibe. All right, well, I know it's technically you who signs us off, AP, but we gave you the first. You want the last word? Final last word?
Please, it's literally your show, Bob.
I'm hosting. That's it. I'm like the production company, a bad robot or some shit. Like that's it.
You realize that at the end
We're
of
using
every
your
bad
house.
robot production, the bad robot is the last thing on the screen.
That's true.
It comes out.
That is very true.
You know what we're gonna do then? We're
It
gonna
is.
do the transition page. All right, bye everybody. Talk to you later.
See you, everyone. Thanks for watching.